What up, Joe? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Smooth, you want to say what up?
What's going on, good people? You already know it's your boy Smooth, Black at you again.
Yes, we are here for another great show. We got a great topic lined up for you guys tonight. We are talking about Texas sending migrants to safe haven cities. So this topic came up because recently we saw the governor of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, send a bunch of migrants to Kamala Harris's house. Like, what's up with that? Like, just wild, just being wild. And so, of course, definitely kicked off some outrage across the country. And it wasn't just to Kamala's house; it was to several cities throughout the country, including New York, Chicago, Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts, and even Florida got involved in it, sending 2 planes full of folks to Martha's Vineyard as well. So, a lot of folks are really upset by this. And there's, of course, a lot of folks that are happy about it, and then there's a lot of people that aren't. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Smooth, what's your thoughts on this strategy, as Greg Abbott tries to put it, for dealing with his border issue?
I think it was tight, disrespectful. To be quite honest with it, and it was, he was being an asshole. Let's just be quite clear. Now, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. He was definitely being an asshole. The man even tweeted afterwards. After he sent 2 busloads of migrants to Kamala Harris's house, he tweeted, I sent them to her backyard to call on Biden administration to do its job and secure the border. Now, Press Secretary, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Karine Jean-Pierre, she was like, we have a process already in place, and there's a legal way of doing this and for managing the migrants. And she also said that it was cruel and disrespectful. Mm-hmm. President said they're using them as political pawns. At first, I'm gonna be honest. Because you already know I'm not a fan of Biden or Kamala Harris. So the first thing I did, bro, was I laughed hard as hell. Like, oh, that's super petty. You feel me? Like, then I got pissed, because I'm like, would you do that if that wasn't a woman? Mm-hmm. And if she wasn't a so-called woman of color, she don't really identify as black. Like, would you really do that if that was anybody else? So I think he was playing into the political climate, and that was, to me, that was a Bush. I'm not a Bush, but a Trump move, low-key Trump move. You feel me? So he lost a lot of respect. Him and DeSantis over there in Florida. You feel me? They both, because he sent them to Martha's Vineyard. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm like, them people, are coming from a place, damn near hell where they at. Mm-hmm. And now, when you're bringing them here, instead of, okay, if you want to do it the proper way, handle it the proper way. If you don't want to, if they coming in illegal, make them do it the legal way. That's one thing. But to ship these people around, like, these are human beings, bro.
Right.
Like, these are human beings. At some point, we can't just, like, these is kids. You feel me? Women. A lot of them don't speak, and y'all just dropping them off in places where they don't know what. It's like you got to be a cold-hearted son of a bitch to do some shit like that, bro. In my opinion.
And that's the thing, to your point about people not knowing where they're going. I mean, they interviewed a lot of the folks that went to Martha's Vineyard, and there were some people who spoke to the press there, from the that got off the plane there, and they asked them the questions about, did you know you were coming here? You know where you are? Do you know what's going on? And a lot of them said no, they had no clue where they were. A lot of them had no clue why they were sent there. There was one guy who had only been in the States for 4 days, and he said, his thing was, they told him that they were sending him someplace to, to get some aid, to have um, a place to stay. And the thing was, is they had no clue who was going to be there to receive them. They had no
Mhm.
clue what the conditions were going to be. They had no, and he said that was the thing. His court date for his for him coming into the states, his citizen, or I guess not citizenship, but his ability to get his papers so he could stay in the states. His court date is coming up on September 21st, and he had, or just passed, but he had a court date on September 21st, and he had no considerations for how he was going to get from Massachusetts back to California.
Wow.
And that's the thing, so he's feeling like, this was a ploy and a plot by them to make him miss his court date, and to cause him to be deported. There's folks who were promised certain amenities and things like that, but they were just kind of like put on these planes, or put it on these buses, rather. The ones that were put on buses in Texas, they're just put into these buses, basically lured onto the buses. And
Mhm.
they feel like they were misled as to what was happening, what was going on. And then they're dropped off at Kamala's house. Of course, they have no place to go at this point, you know what I mean? And then it's like, it's you know the city's issue at that point, Washington's issue at that point. Washington mayor, Muriel Bowser, had just declared a public health emergency in order to start a government office, in order to start helping the migrants. But the thing is that they had no clue these migrants were coming. They had no, so they weren't given forewarning. Um, it,
The
it's
crazy
it's
part, bro, Fox News, Fox News knew before anybody, before the Department of Homeland Security, they knew what the governors was about to do, and didn't tell nobody.
right,
Like
right,
how is that not damn near treason, bro? You
exactly.
dropping, you don't know who these people are, and I'm not trying to cast no aspersions on these individuals. I'm just real logically. You drop 20 niggas out in front of my house. I don't care if they motherfucking monks, peaceful monks. Like, I don't know these people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what they can do, what they're capable of. And to do that to the vice president is kind of, it's like, man,
Yeah.
it's like
I mean,
it's
it was definitely a petty move, but it was
yeah,
also, basically his revenge for comments that she made about the border being secure.
yep.
And him to react in such a way, it's one thing to react in a way where you're making statements or you're making comments, because they've all said that they feel that the administration is failing. They all feel that the administration is doing things illegally. They all feel like the administration is not doing their part in order to help the issue down in Texas, to one, secure the border, but also to aid any of the migrants that are coming in. So they're setting aside money. I believe Governor Abbott is setting aside $4 billion in order to handle a lot of the border issues, as well as to aid the migrants. But the thing is that you don't play with people's lives in order to make your statement or to make your point. That's the problem. And then to not only play with their lives like this, you're talking about luring people into these situations that they have no clue what they're getting into, as well as not offering them the ability to you know have a place where they are, or giving them options, to be able to say, hey, I need to be in California, not in Massachusetts, or I need to be, with my family somewhere else, versus shipping them off to Chicago. So I think that that's the problem, is that a lot of it is all politically driven, all them trying to make a statement, but without regard for the human lives that they're dealing with.
And then let me ask you this though. Do you think, because Governor Newsom from California, I think he requested the DOJ to start an investigation, excuse me. And because he was trying to say that that's kidnapping fraud, because they lied to, like you mentioned, they lied to the people, told them they was gonna have housing, jobs and all this stuff.
Right. They
No,
told them they were gonna have jobs and that they were gonna get their papers once they got there.
yeah. So do you think they should suffer some legal repercussions, or do you? And if you think they do you think it will happen? Because that's the key. Will it
I mean,
happen?
I definitely believe that they should suffer repercussions. You know, I feel it's kidnapping. I feel it's endangerment. You know, there was two people who ended up in the hospital behind being bused. I believe to DC, and
Mm.
one being a baby, and they had no regard for these people's lives, on their livelihoods. So I feel that it's definitely endangerment. But will it happen? I definitely don't think anything will happen. I don't think that anybody's going to take the step. Politically, everything is politically motivated. There's a lot of discussion. There's a lot of tensions. There's a lot of pandering around how do we make this situation better, but no one's actually taking action. And I think it's because one, they're afraid for how is this going to look to their constituents. Two, how is it going to look to their colleagues because they still have to be able to do business with each other on other issues. And then three, it's what is the general consensus of how to handle the migrants themselves. And 51% of the Texas population agreed with Governor Abbott. A lot of them, and what I mean by agree with him, they agreed that his methods of busing these people to these safe haven cities with no notification, with no regard for where these people really need to be, is they feel it's the right thing to do. They feel that just get rid of the problem is the right thing to do.
So, not to cut you off, I can kind of understand like because it's a multi-layered thing, right? You know, they the front line of the immigration issue because that's where they're crossing over the most. You feel me? Technically, you want to be honest, that's their home. That was their home. They ain't even crossing over. You feel me? Texas was Mexico. You feel me? But I can understand the people down there. And mind you, a lot of those, I don't know if Hispanic the right word now. Forgive me if it ain't, if they want to, if that's not what they use. A lot of them are Republicans down there. And a lot of them agree. A lot of them was part of that 51%. We're talking about, they agree with Governor Abbott. And that's mainly because that immigration has been an issue. Shoot, Obama, he deported, more people during his term. We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
Than all the presidents before him combined.
Right.
So we know we have an immigration issue. But how you go about it, handle it, has to be, you have to have some type of decorum. Like we supposed to be the number one country in the world, right? Mm-hmm. The world looking at how we treat people, how we treat those human. Like I think that the human being aspect of it is what's being overlooked here because it's more political. You feel me? But if you don't learn how to treat people, like you're gonna lose the world, man. Like we're gonna end up being at war with everybody, bro. And it's like, why do y'all want that? You feel me? Why do y'all want to antagonize everybody? Why do y'all want to be so superior to everybody?
Right.
And like when you actions like that, that's how it come across. You feel me? It come across to those of us, black folks, we look at it differently. You feel me?
Right.
A lot of black people look at it differently. For the schools, I guarantee you, we know how that white supremacy work. But I guarantee you, a lot of black people are quiet on this issue because we see them as some of us see them as competition. We fight. We already fighting for position, and they coming in here outnumbering us. You feel me? And making it harder to fight for that position. So, like I said, man, it's a multi-layered like discussion, man. And
Yeah, I mean it's definitely multi-layered, especially because of the fact that there's so much going on behind the scenes, right? You have these cities or these states rather that are setting up funds to help migrants, but their main thing um, is to get the migrants out of their states.
mhm,
And then the other one is, you know, the issue of how do they secure their borders and keep additional migrants out. And then you have people who are trying to, politicize all of this and get their um, and get their constituents to consider them, the best, solution for the issue or for the problem. So I think that there's so many nuances and parts to this, and you have to fix each one. I think securing the border is problematic for most of these states because of the fact that there's never enough funds. I mean, you're talking $4 billion just for Texas.
yeah,
Um, you're talking, I believe it was $3 million for Arizona just for 3 months of dealing with their migrant population. Um, $12 million over in Florida, and you're talking Florida doesn't have borders with any countries, but they still have people who come in to that state, and they have $12 million allocated for how to well, it's supposed to be twofold. One is to provide aid, provide housing, and then the second part is to ship them out.
mhm,
So it there's a lot involved in this, and I think the other problem with it is that a lot of the cities that they have that are safe haven cities already have an overpopulation problem. You're talking Chicago, New York, DC. These are cities that are
Trenton, Trenton, the city I'm living in, is a safe haven city, bro. We are 7 square miles. If you look us up on the census, it'll tell you we got like 84, 85,000 people, bro. We well, it's like 130, 140,000 people in this city, bro. And it's small city, like we're super congested. So to your point, like that shit somehow got to be addressed.
yeah,
It
yeah.
somehow got to be addressed. It got to be addressed. You know, I don't know how. That's that, and that's the one thing about having this conversation. Like, how how do you do it, and then how do you do it in a humane way?
Right. It's got, yeah, and that's the thing. It's got to be humane, and that's the point. That's the part that they were missing. You know, they definitely were not treating these people like humans. They were definitely not. They were treating them like cargo.
Yeah.
And they were treating them like pawns in this chess game that they have going with the government. Um, the fight that they have with the government should be with the government, not with the
Mhm.
people who are coming in, or not with the people that they're shipping around. They have to really feel like the the ultimate goal is to secure or to make these people whole again. That should be the ultimate goal. Not feel like it should be their thing to just get rid of the problem. Out of sight, out of mind, and that's what they're doing. They rather have that than to actually face the issue.
And let me ask you this though: is there any way, any course of action that we can take against the countries they're coming from?
I mean, that's the thing. How do you deal with countries that people are trying to run from, right? Regimes, poverty, violence, drug infested countries or cities or city states.
No
Um,
water.
there's so many things that are causing these people to come here, right? It's not one particular reason all the way across the board, right? And I think that's the issue. You get 10,000 people from Venezuela. I believe Venezuela is a regime issue. You get, 5, 6,000 people coming from Guatemala. It's a poverty thing. It's a issue with the government. You got people coming from Mexico constantly, always. That's a that's a three-part issue. It's the government, it's the cartels, it's the poverty. So there's so much that you're trying to kind of focus on. I don't think that that's something that they'll ever focus on, that they'll ever be able to solve either, because most of these countries are not part of any kind of group that they can say, hey, we're gonna have this group, I forgot the word they use, but basically chastise you. You know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
they're not rich enough so you to put sanctions on them. You put a sanction on Guatemala. What is Guatemala gonna do besides laugh at you? Guatemala isn't sending anything here besides people. Guatemala isn't rich enough to pay for anything. If you send stuff there, Guatemala can't afford to pay more for it than what they're already paying. So yeah, I don't really think that that's ever going to be tackled.
I agree. I agree. I was just asking because I don't like. I always wondered, like, you know, why do we just allow? Like, why don't we stop them before they get here? Because we know they coming. You know they coming. You
Right.
feel me? Like they had a whole caravan marching up from coming up from South America, damn near. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? That they was reporting on, like they was letting you know they was coming. They was getting. I remember watching the special, like someone was getting stopped in Mexico. You feel me? In Mexico,
Right.
you
Right.
know what I mean? Like, nah, y'all not coming in here. You feel me? That's Mexico telling somebody else. You feel me? Like, nah, y'all not coming in here. When it's at the same time, y'all sending people here like that. I thought that was ironic, but man, like this the immigration is a tough law because it's not even we talk about mainly Latin countries, but we ain't even talking about from Africa, uh,
Right.
Haiti, those immigrants because it affects them as well. Uh,
Right.
you
Right.
know, and that's when uh Agent Orange, you feel me, when they was like he was doing them immigration laws, a lot of people was trying to come out. A lot of Democrats was like trying to talk to black people like y'all just thinking about they affecting like the Latin community, but that's affecting the black community as well. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? It's affecting our brothers and sisters from Africa and from Haiti. So from all them little Caribbean islands. So man, I need to. I really do. I really need to one day, like not one day, but like take a weekend and like really dive into the immigration, to the policies, like
Right.
what's supposed to uh what is the steps that those people supposed to take when they come over, because I honestly don't know.
Right. I mean, most people don't know, right? Most people here in the States, we don't know. A lot of the folks who are affected by it, they find out from their friends and family that are here. And then they get here, and a lot of it is so much red tape, because even not the politicians, but the government workers don't either don't know or don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Mhm.
problem. And they go through these things like the situation with the guy and that goes from Texas to Massachusetts, but he's supposed to be in California. Like, why would you even schedule a court date for this man in California when he's in Texas to start, and then
Exactly.
send him to Massachusetts? So, a lot of it is just ignorance on the part of the folks here, the fact that they don't care, and then, like you said, that there's a lot of nuances to this, and I think that bottom line, like you said, and that's why a lot of the governors and the Republicans are saying that some of the stuff is illegal as well, because they're saying that the actual laws and policies that are in place are not being followed. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we're supposed to do to secure the borders are not being upheld. And the things that we're supposed to do to put these people through a proper system or proper process, rather, it's not being done. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of it's because people just don't know, and they just they just kind of dismiss it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And
Yeah.
I also think also think those governors, especially Abbott, and then probably the governors before him, I honestly think they use this issue for personal gain. You understand?
Right.
So it's like I'm gonna complain about the borders being open, but I'm opening the borders.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. True that.
You feel me? And that's what I kind of get from it, because, like you just stated, if they're following what they're supposed to be following and doing what they were supposed to be doing, it wouldn't be this much chaos.
True.
You feel me? Somebody got to be controlling that chaos.
Exactly. Let's stop the chaos. Well, that was a great show. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all get at us. We got shows, plenty of shows. Smooth, let them know where they can find you.
Y'all can catch your boy all the damn time on Twitter at eTrentonGroomy. Visit my blog. I'm on there quite often as well at thekingstruth.com. King's Truth on Snap. And me and Dame every Sunday until the football season in. Fans Perspective, 9 p.m. Holla at us.
That's what's up. And it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles. I'm Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Find me over at gamingwithstyles.com, playing video games. I will be back doing that very soon. StylesRadio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. Going to be listening to some Freddie Gibbs real soon. I got some other brand new tracks that I just listened to, so you'll see those popped up on the page every day. And catch me on williestyles.info for all my links. We will be back in November, so make sure you guys check us out. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programs, but especially on our Monday nights. But you can always catch us on the other days. We're still here. So get at us at that time. Until then, we out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Perspective, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on gftradioshow.com for all of our audio and video playbacks, as well as links